Well, we've got a very exciting episode today on our channel. Now, we've hinted at this for some time. We've finally come through with it. This is the Bush Mechanic Challenge. Now, very excited about this one because we've got $5,000 to build and modify a vehicle that's track ready. We're gonna build these things in my shed here, and then we're also gonna take them out in the tracks into the Glasshouse Mountains on some of the toughest challenges known to man and four-wheel drive. And there's a bit of a catch though, isn't there, mate?
There is, mate. The catch was we had to buy each other a four-wheel drive, and I hope you got me a cracker of a vehicle, mate.
Absolutely, mate. This is the thing, like when you're looking at a vehicle that is obviously a sub $5,000 vehicle, you need enough money in the bank to do mods, you know, make it capable enough to get out in the track. So that's exactly what I did, mate. I looked long and hard. I saw and tested 5 different vehicles along the way. Finally came across an absolute cracker, mate. You love your Hiluxes.
I do, I
do. Mate, I think you're going to be very happy with the vehicle I chose you.
Bring it on, let's have a look, eh?
Have a look at this, mate. Absolute beast, absolute weapon. Hope you're sitting down, big fella.
Oh, stop. Is that an LN106?
106, mate.
What a rig.
They are probably, you know Hiluxes better than me, mate, but they would have to be one of the most legendary Hiluxes ever made.
I've wanted one of these so just about ever.
And mate,
look, stop it. How good is that?
And it drives really nice. It's straight as a dime. A couple little rust holes. You're going to get that.
Don't worry about that.
It was a very cheap vehicle.
Yep.
I got an absolute bargain on this thing, mate.
Fast too, I bet.
Very, very slow.
Yeah, yes.
Very, very slow. Perfect. So it'll suit you like it's
and stocker. Wow.
Stock as a rock.
Yeah, nice.
And someone's loved this car, and that's what I like about it. It's just a good quality second-hand buy. And at the price, mate, you cannot go wrong. I reckon I've bought the best second-hand vehicle. Now, I'm keen to see what you got me.
Yeah, well, mate, so you said you did the legwork, you know, went and checked out a whole bunch of different vehicles. I didn't do that. So I decided, I was like, I even put it to the audience on Instagram, looking for a car, because I was struggling with what car to get you. I thought, maybe a sick Land Cruiser or something. The car I got you, I reckon you're going to love it, mate. Solid axles.
Solid axles.
Coil springs.
Coil sprung.
Yeah.
Like an 80 series or something.
Like an 80 series,
what
mate.
Do you got? Go on.
Let's have a look, eh?
Right, let's open her up. Here we go. What's with the badge?
I got you your dream four-wheel drive, mate.
Is this some sort of stitch-up? Is this a stitch-up?
You bought me a really cool car. I got you.
That's a Nissan Patrol.
Yeah. And wait till you see the paint job on it, mate.
What is with that paint job?
It's got horses on it. It's an absolute beast. I know you're a little bit of a concrete cowboy, so I thought, you know, horses on it, a bit of a country boy. Yeah.
Wow.
Look at it. Look.
Wow.
It's even got free clear coat missing.
It might be the ugliest vehicle I've ever seen in my life.
Well, the best part is it's auto as well.
Auto? Okay.
Is it
diesel?
No, it's a petrol as well.
At least the EFI one, right?
No, mate, it's got a carby as well.
Carby TV42.
Yep,
I've read about these.
Yeah.
Very, very small, thin book.
yeah. It's not much to them. I think these engines were in a forklift.
I'm going to be honest, I've never, I don't think I've even driven a GQ Patrol before. Especially one, I've never seen a car that looks like this before. Is that airbrushing?
Yeah, I think so. And
no, there's more horses on the side. The owner should have probably saved his pennies on the horse decal.
Yeah.
Bought maybe a 60 or something, maybe an 80 series. Oh wow, okay.
What a beast, eh?
Okay, does it start? Does it run?
It runs-ish. Yeah, it runs.
So let me get this straight. I looked long and hard to buy you the car of your dreams.
Yeah.
And you bought me this.
A GQ. Well, I knew you always wanted one, mate.
Oh, this is going to be good, mate.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
This is going to be good.
It'll be fun.
Well, mate, the time is exactly 12 midday. We've got 24 hours to build these beasts and get them out in the tracks. So the challenges that we need to build these vehicles for, we need to make sure they're track ready. There's going to be every sort of off-road obstacle known to man. We're talking rocks, we're talking ruts, mud. Big challenges in the Glasshouse Mountains. That's all I know at this stage. We need to get them ready for camping as well. We're going to be spending a few nights out in the bush. Our time has already started clicking over, mate. We don't have a lot of time to build these things. Let me go through the Hilux first. Now, we've got a $5,000 total budget that includes the purchase price of the vehicle. I was able to wheel and deal and get yours at $2,400.
$2,400 for that.
So that leaves you $2,600, $2,600 to get the mods you need to build that thing.
Okay, yeah,
How'd you do on mine?
Well, okay, so the GQ was about $1,200.
$1,200?
Yeah.
You got ripped off, bud.
Yeah, I think I did. So that leaves you what, about $3,800, I think, to spend. So you got a fair bit to spend on mods, and I suggest you do it wisely because the Hilux will be giving you a run for your money, I reckon.
Look at that, look at that. The horses are growing on me, mate. The horses are growing on me. I think I'm going to call it Daryl after. Daryl Braithwaite, the horses, you heard that song?
Yeah, I have, mate, yeah.
Old Daryl over here, she's a beast. Look, let's get into it, mate. I reckon we take these beasts out.
Go for a parts run?
Go get some parts. I've got some ideas what I need to get already.
Me too, yeah. Right, well, let's get into it, eh?
All right. Keys are in it, mate?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Right, look at this thing. Oh, it stinks.
Sick.
Is there any trick
I'll
to
see
this
you there.
one? All right, is there any trick to starting these things? Jock is well up the road by the time I get Daryl started, but even then, it's really not running well. As I backfire my way into town to pick up some mods, I've also got delivery confirmation that a bunch of spare parts for the vehicles will be arriving at my shed from the legends at Sparesbox. Well, mate, we've done a little bit of shopping. I think we've bought really well.
Mate, you've done a good haul.
Mate,
Yeah.
look at all the stuff I've got here. I'm very excited. This is going to completely transform little Daryl over here. It's going to be an absolute weapon when I finish with it. I'll go through it, mate. I've got a 2-inch lift. Got that from Fulcrum suspension. Now that's going to be back about $800.
Okay.
So new springs, new shocks, got caster bushes as well.
Yep, cool.
Got a set of 35-inch tyres, mate.
Yeah, okay. 35s on the big girl.
I know,
eh?
I know. I think I can make them fit. So they're off actually sooty, but look, a set of tyres would set you back about $1,500. Then I went with a fridge.
Okay, yeah.
Because I figured I'll be waiting a long time back at camp for you to come and meet me because I've got a far capable vehicle.
Yeah.
So I can have a couple of cold ones while I wait for you, mate. And
interesting choice.
Look, I had a couple of bucks left, so I got some just some fuel hose and I got a little inline fuel filter. And the way I figured it as well, if I'm sitting at camp having a cold beer waiting for you to get off the tracks, because you're probably so bogged or whatever, I've also got a UHF from GME. Now this one is only about $300.
Yeah, okay.
It's a nice budget one, super capable, 5 watts.
She's good to go. You got pretty much everything you need.
Everything ready, mate. Cape York tomorrow. I could do this. I didn't need to install it. But how did you go?
Look, I didn't get as many things as you, but let's check it out. Well, mate, this is what I got.
Not
a couple
much
of
here,
choice
mate.
mods, and
There's not much here.
Yeah, so first thing you notice is I managed to score myself a winch. So that's the Runva 11XP. It was about $900, so reckon pretty good. But I've still got to sort a bar for that, so I reckon I'll get to that.
Yeah, I was going to say, how are you going to fit a winch, mate, to a standard HiLux?
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But
you've probably got about 20 hours left if you're lucky, mate.
I think so. Well, the other thing you'll notice, there's 2 lockers there, mate.
I do see that. I
The
do see that.
is going to be twin locked.
So where's your camping mods?
Yeah, no, don't worry about that. I've got a twin locked HiLux, mate. You don't need camping mods when you got
It's
a
going to be very hard for your diff locks to keep your beers cold.
No, it's semantics. Yeah. You've got a fridge, so I think I'll just...
Well, I've got a fridge, correct.
Yeah.
But you don't have a fridge. That's the big thing out of this. You've also got a set of spotties.
Yeah, so they were about $700. So they're the Icon driving lights from Teralume. Super bright. I think you got
super good quality lights, mate. Now, I understand why you've done this because you're going to be so stuck out in the bush. It's going to get dark.
Night run.
I'm at camp having a beer by this stage.
Yep.
You need some spotties to see. Have you got a UHF?
No.
So you can't communicate. You've got nothing to add at the campsite.
No, but I've got a winch to pull you out, and I'm twin locked, and I've got driving lights.
So I can go some sort of deal here, mate.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Look, if I get stuck and I need to borrow your winch, I'll even give you a cold beer.
Okay, maybe we should get a bit of a game going, see how many times I pull you out.
Yeah, probably won't be much, mate. Probably won't be much. But look, I reckon we get into it. You got your work cut out. A couple of lockers to fit.
That'll take a while. Yep.
And I won't have. It should be done in 5-10 minutes, I reckon. Let's get right into it. Now, fitting a couple of lockers and doing a full suspension install in the driveway are 2 pretty big tasks to take on single-handedly, especially for a couple of mugs like us. Fortunately, we barely had to twist the arms of our mates down at Pinnacle 4x4 to get them down for the afternoon to lend a hand. These guys service all our vehicles and will definitely help keep us on track. First thing I'm doing here is the suspension, so I'm taking the old gear out and I'm going to replace that. So shocks out first, then the coils. It's going to make this vehicle ride so much better and also give us a little bit more clearance to fit the bigger tyres. Great little mod and under $1,000, you really can't go wrong.
So obviously this hub hasn't come off in a while. I just noticed a fair bit of corrosion on this outer hub nut, which leads me to tell me that this hub's copped a bit of water ingress in its time. So I have a feeling these bearings are going to be pretty interesting.
Jock and Travis need to take off the brake assembly, CVs and axles as well as the tail shaft to get the 2 diffs out. And the old Luxie is looking a little bit worse for wear at this stage. With the front diff drained, the centre comes out, now the lockers can be installed. Meanwhile, we've soon got the old coils and shocks out and some brand spanking new Fulcrum ones going in their place.
Yeah, that went in easy actually.
Now, these old rigs were cheap buys, and as you'd expect, they'll need a lot of love. That's why the guys at Sparesbox have sent us down a care package with a ton of spares specifically for each vehicle.
weeks ago. The goodies from Sparesbox have arrived. Express post, you see, before we took delivery of these vehicles, we knew we'd have to do a fair bit of maintenance and also to get some spare parts for them because we're taking them out in the bush. They will need a bit of a service before they get out there. And these things came express post, nice and quick, delivered to my shed. And something tells me that these trucks are gonna need all the help they can get.
The beauty of Sparesbox is that you can search for the parts you need on their website by vehicle, order then and there, and have it delivered. Pretty convenient, I reckon. Travis has soon got the front diff surgery underway, while Jock moves on to removing the rear diff centre.
Tell you what, I think the previous owner of this HiLux used it as a beach rig. There's a bit of fishing line tangled in the rear springs, and also every single bolt has got a bit of corrosion on it, so proven pretty fun to take everything off. So handy little tip, pretty much on any four-wheel drive, but particularly because this one's seen a bit of salt corrosion, is if you are going to drain the diff oil, crack the fill plug first so you know you can definitely refill it once you drain the oil. It's nothing worse than draining the oil and realising that this plug's seized and you can't fill it up again. It's not too bad, actually.
While Jocko is still taking things off his rig, we've got the new Fulcrum suspension slotting in like a charm.
Well, that is super simple. We literally changed that front suspension, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes if you're lucky. Great little mod to do in your driveway as well. Get a mate around and just get into it. Get yourself a 2-inch suspension lift. You can run big tyres on it. It makes the vehicle so much more capable, but also from a touring point of view, if you want to go out in the bush, you know, doing a lot of corrugations, that sort of stuff, it just makes the vehicle so much more comfortable and easier to drive, even on the road too, I reckon.
Just about to install the lockers into the diff centers. What I love about these is they're super simple and they're really good if you're on a budget as well, if you want to get a bit more traction out of your four-wheel drive. Basically, all they do is replace the spider gears inside your center, and essentially whenever there's a loss of traction when a wheel spins or lack of drive, they'll engage and then you get traction to each wheel evenly. And because you don't need air lines or any electronic lines running to the center, they're just a super simple, quick and affordable way to get more traction for your four-wheel drive.
Now the new suspension is a huge upgrade already for old Daryl, but we're also going to pull out the radius arms because the Fulcrum suspension kit actually comes with a couple of offset caster bushes which will make the vehicle ride a lot better.
There we go, perfect. Just got the radius arm out. It's not the easiest thing to do on the shed floor.
Now to take the bushes out, of course, you're going to need a press. I've got a basic 20-ton one in the back of the shed. Now once you line it up, it's pretty easy to use and the bushes soon come out. The Super Pro caster corrected bushes come with a handy alignment guide to help you get the right placement in the arm before you press them back in. Jocko's still working on that diff, but at last has it out and ready to get the new locker installed inside. These four-wheel drive system lockers make a perfect DIY upgrade that you can do in your driveway, and best of all, they can be fitted without specialised tools. I'm not going to lie, reinstalling the radius arms on the shed floor is definitely a challenge. Getting the alignment right takes a lot of manoeuvring, and we haven't exactly got a ton of room. Pretty glad for the help of the Pinnacle boys, or this would have taken me all day.
There we go, that was a bigger job than I thought, to be honest.
The HiLux's rear diff is soon on the operating table and a new locker installed. And at that point, the Pinnacle boys reckon they've given us enough help, and it's rightly time for them to clock off. The rigs might still be on axle stands, but 2 big jobs are nearly ticked off.
Well, mate, locker is in the diff centre.
Ready to go back in?
Starting to make a little bit of progress. It's good to see. About time, mate, about time.
How you going with yours?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's a slower job than I thought. Got the springs and shocks in really quick, and then been a couple of hours on those bushes. That set me back a little bit.
Particularly on the ground, they can be a bit of a pain to get in sometimes. But
not worried at all, mate. Considering you don't even have a front bar, you've got no winch, and you've still got diff centers out. I'm doing right.
A little bit to do, but I've called in the cavalry.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a mate coming to help me, and he's bringing a front bar.
What? Yeah, a mate coming to help?
Yeah, I found a front bar second hand, and guess how much he wanted for it? A carton of beer. Carton of beer, yep.
Carton of beer?
Yeah, I might have actually borrowed one of your cartons out of the shed I found, mate. But yeah.
Come on, mate.
Yeah, so I've got a mate coming by with a front bar, and he's going to help me out, and we'll get her back together.
Well, if that's the case, mate, I'm going to bring up a couple of mates of mine. I've got a mate who is a GQ specialist. If I even give him a hint that we're down in the shed working on GQs,
I think I know who you're talking about.
He's going to be here in about 2 seconds. He knows these things a lot better than I do, which wouldn't be hard.
And just like that, the next shift clock's on. Up front is HiLux genius Matt Kinsella from Kinsella's Customs. And of course Jesse, a Nissan guru who probably bought more GQs than half the state of Queensland combined. And would you check that out? The boys have brought along a few gifts.
Look at that, mate. That's disgusting. Look what Jesse brought me, mate. Snorkel.
Snorkel, that'll increase your horsepower by about 2.
That's a GQ one, right?
Yeah, sure.
Excellent, mate, because we need that. When we open the bonnet, Turns out the intake has just got this big hole.
It's missing a bit, I saw that,
missing a bit. Let's get in the shed, show you where the tools are, and more importantly, introduce you to Big Daryl over here. You got to see this thing.
I'll show you the
Absolute
HiLux
weapon.
I took apart,
Absolute
mate.
weapon.
Yeah, right.
Hope you like horses.
Oh yeah, oh no, I got that, look at that, yep.
With some fresh help on hand, we crack on with the build, and Jock, well, he just continues to take things off his car. Interesting strategy, mate. The day is coming to an end, but we're not stopping. We've got heaps still to do to keep the build on track.
Tell you what, it is officially beer o'clock right now. And speaking of beer o'clock jobs, have a go at this tyre and wheel. I don't know what this is off. This might be off a tractor, maybe a trailer. Certainly it should not be on a full drive.
Those radius arms ate up quite a bit of the afternoon. We've still got the rear suspension to put in, but luckily for me, Jesse knows his way around the underside of a GQ. Now, Matt built Jocko's insane sassed HiLux with Jock in his workshop, so these guys make a pretty formidable team. But they've got a lot of work ahead of them to make the deadline.
Righto, so the rear center's back in, just got to button it up and put the rear axles back in, tail shaft, and then we can start on the front. Got a little bit to do to catch up to Shaun, so got plenty of work to do.
Meanwhile, over at Team Nissan, things are also pretty serious.
That sort of girth, Jesse, that's what separates the pretenders from the real deal. That sort of length, we're going to impress. Yeah. We're going to impress the boys, there's no doubt about it. Right, that is looking good. Rear suspension's going in really quick. Having a cold beer, taking my time because we are getting this job done so fast. In fact, I reckon I'm going to get it done so much faster than Jocko. Jesse and I are going to be, I don't know, we'll probably have to fill in our time somehow to try and wait for Jock and to get that vehicle ready. I reckon, might even put a bit of a wager on it. Oi, Jocko.
Yo.
Oi, 6-pack that we finished first.
Righto, you're on.
That's the worst bet you've ever made. All right, which way does this go in?
Yep, feeling pretty confident right now, with the GQ coming together nicely, and even though it's unlocked, I reckon the suspension and the tyres are going to work an absolute treat.
Here's my secret weapons. I've got the Wrangler MTRs with the Kevlar sidewalls in 35s. There's a straight off sooty, and I'm just going to put them straight on now. We're going to actually fit this with the tyres now, just so we can see how they fit and if they clear. Just judging, I'm touching this flare and I'm definitely touching this one. So gonna have to get the grinder out, I reckon, and just make these things fit.
Okay, we're running to a bit of a small hitch. It turns out, while I can get the tyres on, the wheel nuts don't fit my rims, and also, they don't fit the wheel studs. So, I'm going to need to run into town in the morning to get some new ones. But for now, I want to get these splitties on sooty so I can at least drive that.
Well, this is going to be one of the most embarrassing days of my life. Just fit some splitties on old sooty here because we're pinching its wheels and tyres. You can't put this on here. Go away, Jock, you got a job to do, mate. You got a job to do.
Tyres, mate.
You've got a job to do.
Improvement, I think. Oh, it's made to be.
Sharp, Jock, you got a job to do, mate.
What's this side look like?
Don't look at that side.
Skip leg day.
How embarrassing is that? But I've got to be honest with you, it probably still outdrives Jocko's HiLux.
So Shauno's been saying he's been a fair way ahead, but we're not far off putting the wheels back on this thing and getting it back on the ground, so I reckon we're catching up. Be interesting to see. I reckon this little Luxie's going to be a bit of a beast.
Now, if there was ever a bloke who knew how to cut a GQ for 35s, it's Jesse. He just seems to know exactly where to cut, nip and tuck, and soon has a space for the big tyres. This thing's going to be an absolute animal.
35s, 2-inch lift. Weapon, mate.
It's going to be good fun.
Weapon. All right, I'll just give you the grind. I'm going to start cutting something. Far out.
Jock and Matt have put a huge effort in to get the diffs back in, so we take a quick break for dinner before we crack on with the build. Rigs in the shed, mates to help. It really doesn't get much better than this, right?
I'm just going to put a quick snorkel on and a bit of a rush, so measured once, hopefully cut once. Cut twice, 3 times. Everyone's laughing. Go away. You got work to do.
Well, Jesse isn't looking that impressed at all at my handiwork here. It turns out GQ front quarter panels without snorkel holes are about as rare as hen's teeth. And I've just cut a hole in it. Ah well, all for a good cause, mate.
I'm going to use the 50mm here. So what we're trying to do is do the job properly here. So when you've cut, here's a good tip for anyone actually, when you've cut a hole like this in your car, any hole really, if you're cutting holes in your car, you need to know this. You need to paint the inside here. Try and file it down so you don't cut yourself as well. But this is bare metal that will rust. This is a show car. We do not want to have any damage and any rust coming through. So I made myself a little paint booth. So, oh, that doesn't quite, just like that. Lovely, I reckon that. This would look like a professional's done it, to be honest. Look at that. It actually blends in. Yeah, like it's almost like airbrushing. Sort of blends in with the yeah, that looks nice.
All right, so I'm ruining the paintwork. Matt's prepping the bar for a coat of Raptor in the morning. Back in the shed though, we might have a little problem.
Alright.
Snorkel install.
Go away.
How'd you go, mate?
Go away. Go away. Look from the top.
Yeah.
Amazing. But
yeah.
Look, this actually supposed to, yeah, it's supposed to be on the bottom guard here. So it's actually supposed to be down about that far. But from the top, it looks fantastic. And look at this.
I like the air gap in the guard there. That's
well, imagine this was your cold beer.
Yeah.
You could rest that on top of your snorkel just like that.
So does it?
No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about
that bolt's just sitting outside the guard.
Sure. The whole thing is that all the bolts except for one are useful.
Yeah, that's fine.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Jesse's not stoked, but look.
So basically you just wrecked a patrol guard.
No, it's practical. Like it's going to work. Once we hook it all up and stuff like that, we're going to stop sucking water in easily. So look, just go away. Work on that thing and we'll figure out what we're doing here. Ah, it's a shame, isn't it?
So I'm just running in the wiring loom for the spotlights we're going to put on the bar just so they're ready to go. But because the engine bay is quite small, I'm actually just removing a fair bit of stuff so I have a bit of better access. You can try and cut corners and just try and wedge your hands in the stuff, but it ends up taking just as long anyway, so I just take the stuff out I need, so it's nice and easy to get the wiring loom in.
You're cutting aluminium just with an angle grinder here. You want to basically try and get a little bit of wax on it. There's some proper stuff you can buy, or just raid the patio and try and get one of these. Just get a little bit of wax on here, it'll make it so much easier.
This might look a little bit severe, but it's the only way to make sure those 35s clear the bar. The guys have got the wiring almost in and a switch installed to control the spotlights, which is all included in the Teralume kit. It's been a long day on the tools as we churn through the many jobs on our build list. We've still got a long way to go to get these rigs ready for the tough tracks of the glass house, all by tomorrow. For now though, even the dog seems to reckon it might be time to pack it in.
Hey, what's the dog doing in the car? Hey, that's mine.
No, she smells and she sheds lots of hair.
So do I.
So I thought that she could sit in here for a little bit. You're a bit wet as well, aren't you, mate? Yes, you are.
What do you reckon? Massive day, hey?
Big day in the shed. Big day in the shed. It's been a good day though. We've got a fair bit done.
And you're still on axle stands.
I celebrated way too early today, and I've got a lot to do tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot to do tomorrow too. We've got to get the bar on, the winch on.
I've got to get my wheels on.
Yeah, yeah, you might need them.
I haven't even I wanted tomorrow to be just the day where I just fine tune the engine because she's not running real good.
Yeah, we've got to do that as well.
I've got to actually get it running because at the moment I don't think I can run up the driveway. So anyway, look, big day tomorrow.
Big day.
I reckon we get the swags out because I reckon as soon as the sun comes up,
early start, straight
back into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan, mate.
Cool. All right, well, I'm going to have another quick beer and then get the swags out.
Yeah, I might have another one of your
I think
beers.
I think she's sleeping in there, mate. That's her for tonight.
Good. That's Matt's seat anyway, so that's all right.
All right, let's get into it, right?
Cool.
There's a few crusty eyes this morning after a big first day and night on the tools down in the shed. The day's barely started, but already the boys have been getting up to a fair bit of mischief.
What a beast, eh?
What is the go here?
Oh, I decided to upgrade tyres. It looks pretty good.
You got a bit of an early start this morning.
Yeah, I did just...
I can't believe they even fit firstly, mate.
Yeah.
Nah, not going to happen.
What do you mean?
Oh, you even put yours on mine.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's good to go. It means once it comes off axle stands, you've already got wheels on.
No, thanks for helping us out, mate. We really needed the help. I suggest you just got an extra job on your list this morning, mate. Take those off.
Get your car running, then I'll give them back to you.
I just trying to remember where I was up to. I think grinding this.
Yeah, there's lots of grinding coming.
Right, so we've still got a bit more grinding to do. Yeah. We've got to get it started. We've got to go to the shops as well. Get some. I've got to get some wheel nuts.
Yep. I've got to get some new bolts and things.
We've got to get some pipe so we can actually connect this snorkel up, so it's not just there for looks. There's not that much. Oh, then we've got to service the vehicles, make sure it's running right. Okay, there's a lot. Let's just get into it. Let's get into it.
Cool.
First task of the morning is to draw up a shopping list of the extra parts we now realise we need to complete the builds.
Kinsella bolts.
And then we'll get some.
And Matt's put his hand up to run into town and get the supplies.
Bash it on and weld it. And I'll get like 8 shooters sicker. Ring me when you forget the first thing.
With Matt on the way, it's time to look at servicing the vehicles and getting them trip ready. And the good news is, Sparesbox have really thought of everything and covered us with a heap of useful spares.
I think most of this is for a patrol.
Unit joints. There you go. Well, I'll take this off your hands, mate.
Well,
I'll take.
Do you want me to look through? I'm checking if this is the right stuff first.
What have you got?
This is a CV.
CV. That looks like it's GQ.
Pretty sure.
That might hopefully solve the reason I'm running rough.
Yeah, it might. Hoses. Oh, cool. Brake pads.
Oh, radiator cap.
No, that's mine.
All right, mate. So hands off and this isn't tough, all right?
You'll need it.
Jock's plan is to Raptor the entire bull bar, and having cleaned it last night, he now moves on to the final prep work before spraying.
There you go, that's a few 100 grams saving weight. Weight is important.
All right, now's a fun job. I get to install the GME radio into old Daryl over here. It's a basic one, but it's at a good price, so it fits our budget perfectly. For under 300 bucks, we've got comms. Now, probably going to give the boys maybe a handheld or something from out of the shed, because I would hate for them to miss some of the band that's going to be getting thrown around after we do all the challenges like 100%. Be good just to check in with the boys and make sure they're keeping up. So we'll get this installed. It's got everything you need, which is really cool. So got a unit, 5-watt unit, plus little aerial. That's everything I need for communications.
Jesse is back at it on the grinder, cutting out the space for the 35s. I can't tell if Daryl is leaking here or is just excited about the new mods as well. Installing the GME is pretty simple, and soon I've got the coaxial cable running into the cab from the aerial.
This is probably the first time I've ever worked on a GQ, especially on the inside. And this one here, if it's anything to go by, oh, it stinks. All right, we have power. How good's that? We've got 80 channels out of disposal. Chuck that. Oh, hello mate, how are you?
Out front, Jock's moving on to the Raptor application, which is made really easy with these handy little aerosol cans.
Good thing about Raptor is it's super forgiving. I've given this a light scuff. If I had more time, I'd probably sand it a bit better and take a bit more time prepping it, but don't have much time, so I've just given it a once over with 80 grit, cleaned it up with degreaser, but Raptor's super tough and super forgiving, so I'm just gonna do a once over with the can. It should look pretty good.
We're into the final 4 hours of our 24-hour build, and Jesse's decided to change over the brake pads on the GQ. The old pads are ancient and practically welded on. Yep, this car has not exactly been looked after.
What's going on, mate? Doing a bit. Oh. Is that
Sticky?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all sticky in here. It's disgusting.
What is that? No, it's wet.
There's a wet sticky patch. Do not put your fingers in there.
Oh my God.
I'm actually using conduit on all my 12-volt here, mainly to protect the wires from corrosion.
Yeah, there is some bestie stuff going on here.
Why is that squishy?
Don't even touch it. There's old Mentoses and stuff. There's chewing gum under the seat.
I'm sorry.
Like, you could have done a slightly better job, mate. Like, you know, you can handle the horses on the side. In fact, I've come to love them.
Like,
I won't lie to you.
To be honest, I didn't even look inside the car. I saw the horses and was like, I'll pay that man what he wants.
It might be mouldy and grubby but Mia seems to like it, so I'm going to take that as a good sign. Jocko's got a fun job ahead of him now, refilling both diffs with Castrol using a small pup bottle that was lying around the shed. That's a go, keep at it, Jocko.
Right, now, a very important part of the build is to get the GQ running right. Poor old Daryl, she coughs and splutters a heck of a lot, and we need to give her some good grain, make sure she's just the thoroughbred she deserves to be. So we've got some spark plugs, we've got a fuel filter. I'm going to go through and just change a few of these things one at a time, and if we can get it running good, we've got half a chance.
Well, I've got to say, Jocko, you've got some of the strongest right-hand wrists I've ever seen on a young bloke, mate.
Right, refill time. Thanks, mate.
The old spark plugs in Darrell are pretty seized on, and I'm quite worried about breaking the ceramic surrounding on the spark plugs as we try and remove them.
That's a bit wild, eh? Like, now it'll be my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming.
Okay.
But that's rogue. So Shaun's real good on the tools, but sometimes you need a professional mechanic, just like he's a professional chef, to come in and do it for him.
Oh, look, he's broken the end of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think that was you. There you go.
There we go. Let's see what condition these are in.
Well, you right with that? Remember,
I'm good
left,
to go.
undo.
Good to go.
Yep.
It looks pretty new.
Just horsepower, mate.
Oh, this one here.
With the rest of the spark plugs coming out, Matt's back with a stack of goodies for the rigs.
Well, one of the things with running big tyres like these 35s is they're going to stick out of these guards. We had to get rid of the factory flares because they were seriously impeding on the tyre. We had to actually cut the guard a fair bit too and bend it over. Jesse did a little bit of panel beating work. Looks great, but we need to keep it road legal as well. So as long as we cover that tyre, we're right to go. Now, Jesse, what have you got, mate?
A bit of garden edging, mate.
Bit of garden edging.
Yeah,
This is,
should do the trick.
we're on a budget. This is legit. It's going to keep the rocks from flicking out. It's going to keep us road legal. Well,
Keep us out of trouble.
as legal as we can be.
Yeah.
And we're just going to attach that in there to cover those tyres. All right, mate. Well, you were the master panel beater here, I reckon. Get some tech screws out and just send them home.
Screw 'em in,
Yep. Let's do that.
So last night, Shaun put a snorkel on the GQ, which leads me to believe he's got a bit of mud bogging in store. I didn't want to put a snorkel on because the guard's really nice. I don't want to cut into the guard, so we decided to do the next best thing and chuck some Diff breathers on. And speaking of which, I managed to find some of Shaun's hose and one of his breathers that he planned to use for his car, but I've taken it off. I'm going to put it on this.
Here we go. The last spark plug's going in now. Got to get this engine together, get it running right. I haven't tested it out yet. The boys still haven't got the front bar or the winch on. We've got about an hour and a little bit to go. I reckon they've got no chance. I'm starting to get the confidence back now. I was feeling like I was lagging behind a little bit, but now we're on the home stretch. If we can get this running right, it's a Nissan. It should run, right?
Well, there are tools going everywhere as we head into the final stages of the build.
Mate, have you seen that? Ooh.
What do you got?
Thanks, mate.
But we're about to discover a problem that could take us out of the game completely.
I reckon the leads are on wrong, you reckon? Or?
No, it sounded like it was running smooth.
Yeah.
Running
It was
fine,
running
something
good.
rattling
It's
inside.
running mid,
Maybe there's
yes.
some nuts in the head or something.
Don't tell me this now.
Just do it again. You haven't dropped like a 10 mil in there or something.
Drop anything down, hold it down, because that was what we'd be doing if you drop something.
I didn't drop something down there, but not to say something couldn't have jumped down there. I
Something
don't know.
didn't fall in the carby and then...
It seems like there's a lot of finger pointing at the moment. It sounds like the valve's bouncing on something.
It sounds like there's a small nut just bouncing on top
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah, look.
Look, it doesn't sound great.
Metal combusts.
Eventually.
Look, I'm in one of those situations. I take it all apart and have a proper look, or I just rev it a bit harder and see what's
Yeah, mate, check out these doors.
I need to figure this out real quick.
Righto, well that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. So I'll leave you to it, eh, mate?
While I'm trying to diagnose the savage knock in the GQ engine, Matt and Jock are getting into installing their Runva winch, which slots perfectly into the bull bar.
It's got oil.
Jesse and I start to troubleshoot by checking the oil first. Now, there's not much oil on the dipstick, but there definitely is oil in the sump.
Yeah, it's like real thick.
So hopefully, this is not the bottom end that's knocking. With an hour to go, this is not exactly the perfect time to discover a blown engine, but we put some new oil in and hope for the best.
So used to having diesels in here.
Yeah, but the sump doesn't feel too bad.
Yeah.
It sounds like top end when you're down the bottom.
Apart from the knock, it's running fine.
Yeah, it's running good.
It's running real nice.
Oh no, this is not good, guys. This is not good.
We're pretty sure now at least the engine isn't blown, so the next step is to backtrack to the work we've already done and make sure nothing's fallen down when we've changed the spark plugs.
It was running real rough before, but it didn't have a knock. Not that we could tell anyway. And the knock has just gotten worse and worse and worse. And now it's to the point where something's going to go bang if we don't try and get this sorted.
Go again, like send it for a little bit.
I'm just taking the spark plugs out, and one of the spark plugs, I think it's been dropped because there's no gap right there. So
Have a look.
look at that one, it's touching. So
How do you reckon that happened?
I reckon Jocko's come in.
Yeah.
He helped me. I'll make a bit of a disclaimer now. He helped me with one spark
The
plug.
first one, which wasn't this one, but I also
Right.
didn't drop it too. You know, this is like the easiest job.
But you'd trust your 10-year-old kid to give you a hand doing the spark plugs. Apparently not me though.
But it might not. This might not be.
It might not be it. We've just turned it over a couple of times to see if any bits of metal come out, put a magnet down each one. Signs are good so far, but we're just going to make sure that they're all, because one of these was definitely dropped and there was no gap. So we're going to make sure the gaps are all correct, put the spark plugs back in, cross our fingers and our toes, and hopefully.
If not, send the Luxie to go pick up a new
How
engine.
much is a second-hand one of these engines? Probably not a lot.
Steal one out of your mate's forklift.
All right, let's cross that bridge if we get to it, but let's
Righto.
put these back in.
Cool, sounds good.
With the new spark plugs back in, we kick Daryl over one more time.
Good enough for me.
Well, that's the sweetest sound I've ever heard. The knocking has sort of subsided a little bit, and look, it's sounding good. I don't know what the problem was. I'm going to blame one of those spark plugs. Look, the best thing about it, we still might make this deadline.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about. The fact we might be able to wheel this piece. All right, well, we've got 20 minutes to go. I reckon we get right into it because we've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, Matt, let's get this bar on.
That knock is still a mystery. Spark plugs shouldn't cause an issue like that. It's more likely a timing issue, but for now, the engine's running, so we're going to focus on getting the vehicle back together.
So we need to, of course, attach our snorkel, hook it all up. Now, this is a standard Nissan part that comes off the airbox. This is PVC plumbing supplies. We've found one that sort of fits. And so if we silicone that in properly, look at that. That's what we're talking about. Custom airbox, custom snorkel. We're talking, that's like 90 mils, so a fair bit of airflow is going to happen. It'll probably make more power.
So the bar's on, and I reckon it's come up an absolute treat. You saw how easy it was to apply the Raptor coating, and I reckon it looks really good. Probably hides a bit of the rust as well. Still got to wire up the winch. The Teralume lights come with a wiring loom, which I've already run in, so we just need to plug it in. Get it all tightened up, and it should be good to go.
Next up, we check on the state of Daryl's bearings.
There you go. That's actually doesn't look too bad, you know. It's not rusty like the HiLux.
Just to be on the safe side though, we're going to repack with some fresh grease.
I haven't had a chance to open this up yet. Because we're going to put the fridge in now. Luckily the fridge doesn't need a big install. Oh, it smells. What the hell is this? Jocko's picked a winner here. Righto, fridge is in. You're probably wondering, how am I going to power the fridge? I haven't put a dual battery system in, but don't worry, that's why I left the fridge till last, because I've got this little lithium pack. It's an accessory for the MyCoolman. Just like that, I've got power. All right, it's been a big 24 hours. We're into the final 15 minutes, boys. 15 minutes to go. We don't even have tyres on the vehicle yet. How you going, Jesse, the snorkel? You got...
Oh, we're getting there, doing a bit of plumbing.
All right, 15 minutes.
We'll be ready.
15 minutes, boys. Oh, far out. I don't even know what to do next. Overwhelming. Tyres, tyres. I'm gonna get some tyres on.
Right, so the vehicle's pretty much good to go. We just got to bleed the brake lines, and we've got our new Iron Jack brake bleeding kit, so that's pretty cool. Let's get into it.
Time has really gotten away from us this morning, and there's still a stack of little jobs to get done to finish these builds. Something tells me we've bitten off a lot more than we can chew.
This is the most important mod we're going to do this weekend. It's the smell of every Luxie in Australia.
All right, couple of wheel nuts to go. Going all right, boys?
Yeah, mate.
Right, lower down. All right. I don't know if we should get extra points for finishing first, but we just got in the nick of time. There's about 30 seconds left if you're being honest with yourselves right now.
I don't think you finished first.
Oh, sorry, shut the bonnet down.
Quick, shut the bonnet.
Put it down. Oh, come on now. You haven't got your door shut, so obviously we won.
First one to drive up the driveway wins, I reckon.
You're acting like ours won't start. Jesse, you go start her up. Kick her in the guts, mate.
Got a bit of an issue here.
I thought we were having a start off.
Is yours start? What's wrong with ours? Hang on. Hold up.
Why are they on?
Yeah, key's jammed. Steering lock's jammed on. Key won't turn. Sabotage, I reckon.
The windscreen wipers is just on.
Steering lock's on, but the key won't. You can't undo the steering lock and turn the key on. It's like it's the wrong size key. It was working before.
I guess you're stuck here, boys.
No, well, the car's built, so
Yeah, this car.
just can't drive it right now. Yeah, I'm going to grab a screwdriver.
Well, there's no way we're going to get defeated at this point in time. So, it really is time to take some drastic measures.
We're going to have to think outside the square here and maybe going to need a bigger hammer. I'm not sure. But that's not going to stop us. Hit it.
Get rid of it.
Really?
Yeah. You're a thief.
Whoa, the taco's just gone to $6 grand.
So, as you'd expect, it turns out vehicles are pretty hard to break into. Our aim here is to try and break off the steering lock, but she just doesn't want to
What
budge.
about if you just try and run the grind through there or something? I don't know.
Daryl, what are you letting us down?
The next problem, of course, will be how do we start the vehicle?
Three-way switch. Have you got a three-way switch?
But Jesse and Matt soon have got a plan in place.
Well, good news is we've got steering back. The vehicle steers, which is fantastic. We broke the steering lock. We grinded straight through that. The next little challenge, little hurdle we've got is to we've got to be able to start this vehicle. So we're going to try and wire in a switch, like a three-way switch. So we've got accessories on, and then buzz, horsepower. That's what we're after. So we've just got to figure that out. I've got to try and find a switch in the shed somewhere, and you got to figure out which wires are which, mate. Good luck with it.
Red to black.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Before we wire in a switch, Matt tries out a makeshift key.
Fingers crossed. Come on, boys, bit of Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, here we go.
We're on it.
Well, we've got a bit of throttle. A little bit of throttle. Wake the dog up.
Well, Daryl runs, but only just. Now we've got quite a bit of work ahead to try and rig up an ignition system.
Well, mate, it's been a few hours now trying to get that ignition sorted. Looks like we're there, though. We just ran and got another switch from Jesse's place.
Yep.
We're putting over. We've got two switches, one for accessories and one to actually start the vehicle, which is good. You can see smoke coming out the back. That's solder, hopefully. Hopefully.
Not an end
And
fire,
look, it's getting late in the day. I don't think we're going to hit the tracks today.
No, but that's okay. It just means we can get up early tomorrow and.
Yeah, we'll get up early tomorrow. I reckon the swags will get rolled out again out front of the shed, and tomorrow morning, first thing, we'll hit it. But it gives us a little bit more time to work on these vehicles. I think it was a bit of an ambitious task, 24 hours to get these vehicles.
That said, though, we got pretty close. I mean, like, they're both on the wheels, ready to go. It's just this one little issue.
One little issue.
Yeah.
It was all going well until about an hour to go, and then it all fell apart.
Yeah,
but,
that's okay.
Look, that's how it goes when you're modifying cars. Let's sleep on it. Tomorrow, hit the tracks.
Sounds good, mate.
Day 3. Daryl made it outside the shed, but the bonnet's up again. More engine gremlins.
We haven't got the vehicle very far. Poor old Daryl's only made it about 12 metres out of the shed. And that's where it stopped. We got the carby off this morning, and we think it's a fuel-related issue, or maybe even the dizzy. It's got a little bit of a crack. So anyway, Jesse being Jesse's gone to a mate's place this morning while he was at work, opened up his GQ, and actually took a bunch of parts out of there. So here he comes now.
Got a few bits and pieces.
And you got a carby,
Yeah,
you've got
carby,
a dizzy.
Old dizzy, coils, leads.
Excellent, mate,
Ready for a bit
excellent.
of problem solving.
Well, the boys have got the carby off. They're actually working on that now on the
Yeah.
bench and just pulling it apart. They're going to clean the jets out and stuff.
Yeah.
I reckon we start just throwing some parts at this, and
Yeah.
if we can get this thing running right, mate, old Daryl, well, it's going to at least get out of my driveway. That's a good start, and then we can go hit the tracks.
Right now, it's the part of the build where we all need to come together and sort of formulate a plan.
That's it.
I've got to be honest here, I haven't worked on an old carby vehicle for probably about 15 years. Now, if we want to get Daryl out on the tracks, we've got to no doubt put our heads together and come up with a bit of a miracle. After a bit of troubleshooting, we reckon the main problem is the engine timing, which would explain the knock yesterday.
It's like it's got too much fuel weight. Yeah.
So we swap out the Dizzy and clean up the carby.
All right, carby has been taken off approximately 3 times, clean, stripped. We got most of the parts back into it. New Dizzy, new leads.
Coil swapped and then swapped back.
Coil swapped, just took it off and back on again, so that's going to help.
Yep.
Let's give it a crack, eh?
Righto.
See if we can start her up. Fingers crossed.
Oh, started mid.
That'll do. Give it a rev. That'll do. All right, turn it off before it stops. That'll do. All right, that is a big success. That's taken, look, we went over the timeline a little bit.
This car went over the timeline, mate.
40 hours later.
HiLux is good to go.
All right, just gotta get that airbox back on, get the snorkel all linked, bit more Sikaflex, and we are nearly good to go, actually.
Got to do a mod to each other's cars, mate.
I've got my mod ready for yours,
I've got
mate.
mine
We're
as
not
well.
leaving my driveway until I do this mod. It's not gonna take long, you know, a couple of tools, but give me 3 minutes and I'll have that mod done to yours.
Righto, sounds
All right,
good.
and then hit the tracks, eh?
Cool.
Jock finished his build first, so I'm going to let him take first crack.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take his horn off and then I'm going to connect it to a trailer plug and bridge the wires between the brake light and ground and bring them through the horn. So essentially every time he steps on the brake, the horn will go off. The best part is you can remove this so he won't know what's going on unless he sees there's no horn in his car, that'll give it away. But I can hide it and put it back as I need to. So hopefully it'll annoy him and it should be pretty funny.
All right, my turn to do a little modification to Jocko's HiLux. Now, I want to keep this one real simple, and I've got 2 little mods, in fact. Now, this one's a real simple one, just an L plate. It's just going to warn other motorists, actually, that these guys are still learning. The other thing, of course, you'll notice that old Daryl, full of stallions on the side and all the rest of it. This is like a watered down version of Big Daryl here. So I've got Jocko some stickers so he doesn't feel left out. Now these are little ponies. They're not quite the stallion like Daryl, but you get where I'm going with this. I've got about 400 little pony stickers here. So we'll just start going around the vehicle, just really start to spruce it up. I just want Jocko to make sure he feels like he's included. Look at that, they're beautiful stickers. Where's this one gonna go? Oh, that's a pretty horse, this one. He's gonna really like this. In fact, I think it'll remind him of his childhood bedroom. You got the ponies?
My little pony, yeah. What else have we got? There's ponies all over the car. They're never coming off, eh?
No. They're automotive grade ponies, so no, it doesn't stop there, mate. Come on.
There's all these on the back window.
If you have a look in there, mate.
Outstanding.
Well, I'm so happy that you're happy.
Yeah,
that's,
mate.
That's
I have
most
plenty
important.
of ponies.
I'm so stoked about it. I don't even know what you've done to mine, mate, but I think it's only fair that we take these guys for a proper look around these vehicles because there's so much to take in.
Absolutely.
So bear with us and we'll go through these in detail.
Would you get a load of Daryl? It's got the big UHF up front. Of course, I'm running the 35-inch tyres off Sooty, complete with a 2-inch Fulcrum suspension. Of course, a little bit of Bunnings garden edging to keep the whole thing legal. I borrowed the MaxTrax off Sooty as well since we don't have a winch. And how can you forget our push button start because we broke the ignition system? And I've also been able to fit a 44-litre MyCoolman fridge into the back of Daryl. And this is going to be the perfect little addition when we soon get to a campsite. And with the very little money I had left over, I invested that into a can crusher for the back door of Daryl. Now there's no doubt about it, the LN106 HiLux really is a legendary vehicle. In fact, it is an icon of the four-wheel drive world. So, with a couple of lockers, a bull bar, a set of spotlights and a winch, that vehicle is going to go everywhere. Now, I reckon if Jocko would have had the budget to allow him to put a slightly bigger sized tyres and maybe a 2-inch lift in that thing, it would be completely unstoppable. You got to admit though, even though that bar was picked up for the price of a case of beer, with a new Raptor coat, it looks almost brand new.
Well, mate, epic couple of days.
Huge couple of days, hey?
I didn't think these vehicles were going to come together, but have a look at them now. We should be very happy how they've come out. In fact, Why don't you guys tell us which vehicle you like the most? Put in the comments below. We'd be very keen to see what side you're on. Maybe you're on the HiLux side. You haven't named that thing yet?
Nah.
No, it'll come,
Oh, yeah.
it'll come. Or maybe Daryl's side. Let us know in the comments below. What do you say? Go hit the tracks?
Keen has to give you a run for your money in the
Oh,
GQ.
try and keep up, mate. Try and keep up.
Next week, join us for part 2 of the Bush Mechanic Challenge as we take on some of the toughest tracks in the glasshouse. There'll be epic drives, hilarious pranks and a whole lot of breakages as we push these old rigs to the absolute limit.
Here we go.
This is going to be very ugly.
Oh, that's too much speed.
This way, go. No.
Don't miss the first of 2 insane episodes, starting next Thursday on YouTube.
What a weapon.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm never going to hear the end of this.